duplication, no filter. No, that's not the problem. All right, that's not the problem. So Abdulhamid is correct. Abdulhamid sent me a private message. Abdulhamid, you want to send to everyone so everybody can see that you're the one answering the questions. All right. So Abdulhamid, you're the first person I'm going to be taking. Okay. So Abdulhamid answered the question: data duplication. So you would see Shegun Ojo here. Okay, you see Shegun Ojo over here. All right. Shegun Ojo bought two shoes on this particular day, and the address is 6 Shilekuntfule Lane, Lagos. And number 7 again, you have Shegun Ojo, Air, okay? Bought 7 Air products, okay, on this particular day. And you still have what? Another address. It's a different address. Now, the key question I want to ask you guys now, are they the same person? This Shegun Ojo that you have here and this Shegun Ojo, are they the same person? The same thing with Funsho Adewale bags, 10 bags, 12th, of June 2021. Bonola bus stop, Idumota, Lagos. Okay, then you still have another Funsho Adewale, bought bags again, 17 in quantity, a different date, but what? Viewer Tamedo Lane, Akure, Ondo. All right. So are they the same person? This Funsho Adewale and this Funsho Adewale, are they the same person? Shegun Ojo and Shegun Ojo, are they the same person? So somebody, if you have confidence in your answer, I want you to unmute you. I want you to raise up your hand, okay, and I want you to give me your answer. So if you're confident in yourself, if you're confident in your answer, raise up your hand and let's have like a discussion. Peterson, okay, I can see your hand is raised. I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself so we can have a conversation. So yes, go ahead, Peterson. I'm gonna ask you to unmute Peterson so I can hear from you. Are they the same person? Shegun Ojo and Shegun Ojo, are they the same person? Yes,
They are
Peterson,
not.
go ahead.
They are not the same person.
What make you
If you
think so?
carefully check the address, it's from different location. Definitely, these people they are not the same person. They may be answering the same name. So
Now, let
that
me ask you a question. All right, let me ask you a quick question based off that. Now, is it
yes,
possible that have you ever found yourself in a situation where somebody buys something for you online and your address will be the delivery address? So let's say you have your girlfriend that is living in Aja or that's living in
okay,
Lekki or living in another part. You stay on the mainland. Your girlfriend stays in
okay,
Lekki, all right? And your
okay,
girlfriend says, "Oh, Peterson, I want to eat shawarma. I want to eat shawarma." Okay, and you're like, "Oh, there is
okay.
a shawarma place close to your house. Let me order for you." And you order, but the delivery address is your own account, all right? Or the delivery
Mm,
address is in Lekki. You understand? So
okay.
exactly. So it could be the same person, but it's just
Person.
that the
Okay,
address is two different
it's
addresses.
different.
You understand?
Okay.
Exactly. So
Oh, thank you.
do you understand where I'm coming from now?
I understand. I understand your point now.
All right, thank you very much. So yes,
Uh,
so anyways, thank you very much for coming up to speak here. I appreciate that. All right. So I'm still going to take out your name, Peterson, because I like people that are very participating. Okay. All right. Anselm, let me see. Let me hear from Anselm. Anselm has raised up his hand for a while, so let me just listen to. Well, Anselm, I don't know if that answers if that would also answer your question. All right. So Anselm is not unmuting himself. I'm going to take. Okay. Anselm, go ahead, please.
Well, hello.
Yes, go ahead,
Yeah, I
Anselm.
wanted to say the same thing too. I think they are the same person. But with your explanation, now I don't think they are the same person because with the explanation you gave.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right. So yes, 100%. So you see, there's a problem with this. Okay, there's a very big problem with this, and this is something that most organizations don't know that they have issues with. I've worked with a ton of organizations across the world in Nigeria, in across sub-Saharan Africa, and also in Europe. In Europe, you think that these countries, they have good architectures, they have good structures, and those you feel intimidated when you get a job in like a very big tech firm company or rather you feel like, oh, everything should be in place. But you find out that this is a consistent issue. All right, it has been an issue and it is always still an issue. And that's the reason why they even need data engineers. And that's the reason why there's a huge demand for data engineers, because of data that comes off like this. All right, very simple. Segun Ojo and Segun Ojo, these two people can be the same person, and they can also be two entirely different people. All right, it could be the same person, or it could also be two different people that don't even know each other. The same thing with Funsho Adewale and Funsho Adewale that you have here. It could be the same person, or it could be two different people. But you can never tell because of the way the data is structured. You can never tell. It's impossible. You can't, nothing in this world will make you understand that these people are the same thing just by looking at their name or the address. You can never tell. All right. So now, you see, how do you now solve this problem? That's a key question. How do you solve this kind of problem? Okay, because if Funsho Adewale now call, or let's say Funsho Adewale calls to say that, oh, I want to make changes to my order. Oh, I want to make changes to this. All right, I want to do this. It's very difficult to know which of these Funsho Adewale is the person that you're talking to. All right, like I said, it could be two different people. It could be the same person. So you really don't know what to do at this point in time. Do you solve this problem either in a startup or in any business you find yourself? That's when you now introduce new concept, which is data modeling. Now, data modeling, you still don't understand, don't worry. I'm going to put you through it. Now, how do you solve this using data modeling? Let's go, let's start. So what you're going to do with data modeling is to break this data, this table. It's currently just one table. Everything is in one table. As an entrepreneur, you understand that everything you just do, you put everything on one table. All right, name, product, quantity, date, and address. You put everything. You just store everything in address in the sheet. All right. But now, ideally, what should you do? You should have 3 tables. All right. Rather than having just one table, you have 3 tables. Now, what are these tables? Table 1 is the customer table. Table 1 is the customer table. Now, this customer table, not everything inside the customer table will only be customer information. Everything inside the customer table will be only customer information. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing like the product the person ordered, nothing like, anything outside the customer information. So the customer name, the customer address, the customer email, the customer phone number, the customer age. So everything that tells you about the customer that you want in your business will be in the customer table. So it's like you going to the bank and you want to open a bank account. They will give you a form for you as a customer, all right, to put in your information. Your name, your first name, your last name, your middle name, your mother's maiden name, your country of birth, your state of origin, your everything those are the information that the bank needs. So you own your own business, all right? You also need a customer table that will store only customer information. That would store only customer information. So you have the customer ID, okay? This customer ID here, which is a unique identifier. When I say unique, it means that every customer will have their own unique ID. It's like a bank account again. So no two person will have the same bank account. It's impossible because the system is going to just run mad to say that who should receive this money. So if I send money to an account and that account belongs to like 2 people, what will happen? It's not going to work. There's likely going to be an error to know that, oh, which of this person are you sending the money to? So every customer has a unique bank account, all right? So anytime you have issues in the bank, what would they request? They'll request for your account detail because they expect that account number is unique to you, all right? So your customer ID in this particular business, all right, will be a unique ID for just you as a customer. The same thing when you get a job with any organization, you get a unique ID, the staff ID. That ID is you, just you. Staff number 422, okay? All right, that will be your own, okay, unique number as a staff. So anywhere they say, oh, star 41422, you know that they're referring to you. So in this business also, you need a unique ID for each of your customer. So when you're interacting with a customer, you're asking the customer, can I get your ID? Do you have, are you registered on the platform? Oh, can I get your ID? That is exactly what you need. The same thing you go on, you order for something on Amazon, or you order for something from Jumia, you order for something from AliExpress. You'd notice that every time you make an order, you have a unique ID. All right, to know that it is you, it was this customer 4221 that initiated this transaction. All right. So in this particular table, rather than working with the people's name as your, what do you call it, as your unique ID. So in this particular place, we're using the name as a benchmark to know your customer. All right. Which is totally wrong. You don't need the person's name. All you need to do is have a customer table and assign each one of them customer ID, okay, which is unique to each of the customer. Okay. All right. Number two, okay, is the product table. So you as a business, you're doing e-commerce, you're selling different products, okay? You should have a product table that stores all the products that you're selling, that stores all the products that you are selling. So you have the product ID, you have the product name. So if it is a block eels, you have air, you have bags, you have block eels, and you have different colors. All right. So you can see red, you can see blue, you can see green, so on and so forth. You can see the weight of the product, and you can see the price of the product. So you can see red eel and black eel. Red eel is more expensive than a black eel. All right. So you see, the product table stores only product information. The customer table stores only customer information. The products table stores only product, nothing more. Nothing more. All right. Only product, only customer, nothing like, oh, Shego, you purchased anything. Nothing like that. All right. Same thing with product. Anything that is not related to product does not belong in that table, in that product table. All right. Now, the third table will now be the order table. The order table. Now, the order table would now be that table that would track when somebody places an order. So you see the customer ID here, you can use it to track. You see in this place, you can see the customer ID over here. The product ID over here, okay, you can see the product ID also over here, okay? All right. So this order table contains all the orders that was placed in the organization. So take, for example, you go on Jumia, for example. The moment you place an order, you see a unique ID will be sent to you to say that to track your order, use this number or use this ID to track your order. So if you go on the platform and you put in those ID, okay, you can actually see that, oh, currently shipment, currently packaging, currently this, you can actually track the order. So you see, that's your order ID. So every order anytime you order for a product, it gives you a unique ID. So you place an order on Jumia, you place an order, or maybe you are sending something through DHL. You'll notice that DHL will give you a unique ID to track your order. No other person in DHL has that same number as you. All right. It's unique to your own package, to your order. Okay. So now this is the best way for me to order. This is the best way for me to track my sales. Okay, in an e-commerce business. So I have the customer table that stores customer information. I have the product table that stores product information, and I have the order table that tracks order information. Now let's take a look at one of the order. Let's say this order. This is 1105, order 11015. The order date is on the 16th of January 2023, and the customer ID is 105. Customer ID 105. Can anybody tell me the customer 1105? Sorry, I made a mistake with that. 1005. Who is customer 1005? Who is
Sadiq.
customer? Sadiq, I know. Fantastic. I love that, Akinyemi. All right. Sadiq, I know. That's this person here. So I can easily track to say that, oh, who is customer 1005? Oh, Sadiq, I know. Who is customer 1009? I'll go to my customer table and look for 1009. Do you understand? Now, this person's shipping address is 5 Gmo. Okay. So I can easily tell this is in Kwara State. I can say 105 is what? Sadiq, I know. But the address on this is real address is Opino Lane, Enugu. But now I can tell that, oh, it delivered to a different address. I can now track. Initially, with the previous, I couldn't track. I couldn't track that, oh, Segun Ojo was the same person, first of all. Secondly, I don't know if Segun Ojo is sending to a different person or Segun Ojo is the same person. I don't know. But with this now, okay, with this 1005, I can tell that 1005 stays in Opino Lane, Enugu, right? But now, this particular order is going to 5 Gmok Estate, Kwara State. So I know that Obai, this person is the same person, okay? It's just probably sending something to his parents or to a friend or something. Do you understand? It could be anything. The product is 1006, all right? Product 10, who can tell me what product 106 is? Who can tell me what 106, product 106 is at the moment? Akiyemi, let me see. Akiyemi is really wants to take away all my money. All right, Bawo.
Bag.
Oh, okay.
106 bags.
106 is bags. Fantastic. Oh, I could see Bawo
bag.
in the chat. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Thank you, Akiyemi. Thank you. All right. So yes, I'll be looking at the chat now. Sorry about that. I wasn't looking at the chat earlier. All right. Okay, Bauer, you're also correct. Bags 106 is bags, grain. All right, 45. Fantastic. So you see, rather than working with just one table, so if you get to an organization and you just ask for data, all right, they'll just give you one big table for you to go and work with. You'll now start looking, there'll be so many issues, data integrity issues, data quality issues, quality like your duplication, and so on and so forth. So with that, rather than working with one data, everything in one place, all right, you need a data model. Now, the data model looks like this, okay? You have the customer table, you have the product table, and you have the order table. 3 tables, okay? And you see there's a connection. There's a connection between the customer table and the order table. All right, I can see Abdullah say, God bless. Thank you very much for that compliment. All right. Yes. So you see, customer table is speaking to order table. Customer table is speaking to the order table. So if I want to track, you see the customer ID, all right, is relating to this same customer ID. They are the same thing. Okay. So they are speaking. So that's what we call a relationship. All right. That's what we call a relationship. Just take relationships like the way we have relationship with one another. All right. So you see a friend of yours, okay, and maybe not a friend, or you go somewhere, all right, and you and somebody start talking, and all of a sudden you now find out that you have certain things in common. Two of you are watching UFC, all right. Who watches UFC here? Does anybody follow UFC? All right. So let me see if I have any relationship with anybody here. All right. So you watch UFC, all right, or you're a big fan of UFC, fantastic. You now say that, come on, you guys you have things that are in common, things that are relating to one another. So you form a bond. That's the same thing that is happening here. You see, there's a relationship here because there is an ID that is related to the 2 tables. The same thing with the product. The product table is not left out. The product table has a product ID. And the other table also has product ID. So there's a relationship between those 2 tables. There is a relationship between those 2 tables. So that's how you establish what we call a relationship. Now, there are different types of relationship, but together we're taking it one step at a time. Now, we understand this is a data model. When you see one table relating with another table relating with another table, there's a lot of relationship going on. It is called a data model. All right. One customer table stores only customer information. Product table stores only product information, nothing more. Customer, only customer, nothing about sales, nothing about employee, nothing. All right. Customer stores only customer information. Product stores only product information, and your order table stores anything that has to do with order. The order address, the order quantity, the order this, the order that. Everything is stored in the orders table. All right, fantastic. Let's move on. So let's talk about entity relationship diagram. Okay, still using the example that Humble Zion, Zoocoin, okay, Israel, this are a big fan of him. All right, let's talk about this, okay? So when you talk about entity relationship diagram, so don't make it, I'm not going to make it too complex for you. Entity is table, it's still the same thing, right? But we just like to call them entities because they represent something, they stand for something, all right? Because like I said, the customer table is an entity, it's a table, all right? You also refer to it as an entity. So the customer table is one entity. The product table is another entity. The order table, another entity. So these are three entities. There are three tables. You can use table, you can use entity, but it's not sweet to say table relationship diagram, okay? It's entity, okay? So the customer table is an entity, product table is an entity, and the order table is an entity. So each table has what we call attributes, okay? Each table has what we call attributes. Now, these attributes are qualities, characteristics of the entity or the table. Now, take a look at this. We're looking at the customer table, all right? We're looking at the customer table. So what are the things that qualify a customer? What are those things that you need from a customer? Okay? Oh, and the customer must have a name. True or false? The customer should have a name. Okay. All right. In as much as I'm going to give I'm going to give the customer an ID. Before I give the customer an ID, I need to know that you have a name. First name, last name, middle name, all the information about your name. I need it. I need your address. These are qualities of a customer. Okay. So you see, the customer name is an attribute of a customer. The address is an attribute of a customer. Same thing, I need your email so that I can send you emails and all that. I need your email, I need your phone number, I need your date of birth, I need your race, I need your gender. These are all attributes of a customer. Everything that has to do with a customer, you put it inside. Your mother's maiden name, you put it inside. Your state of birth, you put it there. Your state of origin, you put it inside. Your nationality as a customer. Those things will store all the information that has to do with a customer. Now, a product, this time around, it has its own attributes. It has its own qualities. So before I give a product an ID, the product must have a name, it must have a color, it must have a weight, it must have a price. Do you understand? What else would I be looking for in a product? Any other thing? Let me see if I can. Let me see. What other information, what other qualities would I be looking for in the products? In a product. The price, yes, I can see price here. Any other thing? Ramat, okay. Let me see if Ramat can unmute yourself so I can interact with Ramat a little. Quality. Not sure about. Well, let's see. What'd you say?
Product name, the color, the weight, the price.
Exactly. Those are qualities. The expiry date, fantastic. Rama, thank you lots for that. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right. So yes, you have the expiry date, you have the quantity, you have exactly quantity is a good one. You have all those information. These are all attributes of the product. Okay, the manufacturer. Okay, if you're not the one producing it, if you're selling brands, let's say you're selling another brand, you're selling Zara, you're selling, H&M, you're selling Gucci, you're selling, all these designers, okay? You would want to put the manufacturer of the product in the product table. So the attributes are qualities of the product. Now, the same thing with order. Order has its own attributes. Anytime you place an order, okay, there's a date that you ordered it. There's a customer that initiated that order, okay? The customer is the one that initiates the transaction, okay? There's a product that you're purchasing. So you can't go on Jumia, for example, or you can't go on AliExpress or Amazon and place an order, but there is no product in the order. It's impossible. In order for you to get to order, in order for you to see that you have an order, okay, you must have selected the product, okay, and be willing to pay for it, or even have paid for it in order for it to become an order. So a customer needs to initiate the transaction. There has to be a product, okay? There's a number of quantity. So these are all attributes of the order. The weight of your order, the size, the box length, the width, everything has to do with the order would be in the order table. So you easily, when you go online, okay, you order for something on Amazon or any sites, okay, you can easily just go put in that your order ID and you see all the information about your order. The box, the size, the weight, everything would be stated in your description, in that order description. So the order table stores order information, like I rightly said. So these are basically what we call entities. Entities could also be called tables, okay? It's a table, all right? All right, so that's one thing you should always remember. So don't look, a lot of people are usually scared about words like this because they think they will forget. But if you remember that entity, table, they're the same thing, then that's fine. You'll always remember. All right. Now, each table must have relationship, like I said earlier. So you say each table has a relationship with each table. So the customer table has a relationship, all right, with orders table, okay? And that's exactly what I talked about. So each table should have a relationship with one another, all right? So at the end, this is how a database is structured, okay? This is how a database is structured. So you have what we call an ERD, all right? So it's called an ERD, entity relationship diagram. And we're going to be going a bit technical. This is just me introducing you to it, okay? We're still going to go a little bit technical. So I want you to just listen to me. All I want you to do is settle down and listen. So you can see these are different entities. You see the controller header, this is an entity. The depot codes, another entity. Stage, another entity. Raw data, another entity. Import, another entity. All right? So you see the controller ID and duty, which is another entity, there is a relationship. All right. Controller header and depot codes, there is a relationship. Depot codes, okay, duty and journey, another entity, there is a relationship. So you see, this is our table, this is how a database looks like. Okay. An ideal database, this is how it looks like. So one entity relating with another and different entities make up a database. Do you understand? All right. So, anyways, we'll talk more about this. We are still going to visit this. This is just me showing you what an actual database looks like with different tables, different one, all of them connected, talking to one another. All right. So now let's go into this relationship that we're talking about. Okay, let's talk about this relationship. Now, in order for you to establish a relationship, so we have a customer table here, all right? We have order table over here. We have product table over here. Customer table has a relationship. You can see this line, okay? Has a relationship with what? With the order table. The same thing, the product table has a relationship with the order table. Now, this is how do you build this relationship? It is through what we call primary key and foreign key. Okay, that's how you build a relationship. You use what we call primary key and foreign key. Those are the two things you need to understand. So now you have the customer table and you want to create a relationship with the order table. You need a primary key and you need a foreign key. Now, I'm very sure you guys are new to this. All right, you guys are new to this, so I'm going to explain it for you. Primary keys here, you can see it here, and you can see a foreign key. I don't like to go with definitions, okay? So I would like to explain using my own words. The slides will be made available for you to read at your own convenience, all right? So I would like to use my own words to explain to you. So primary key, let's start with primary key, okay? Primary key is a unique ID, is a unique identifier, okay? Like I said, you going to the bank, you're given an account number that is unique to you. All right. So anytime you go to the bank, you have issues, you don't have issues, you want to initiate a transaction. The first thing they would request for is your account number, which is unique to just you. All right. The same thing with every other place you go to, even in your organization, you have a staff ID. All right. So if you want to collect a loan, they need your ID. They can get your ID and use your ID to get all of the information about you, your name, your address, so on and so forth. So you see, in this scenario now, every customer has an ID, which is unique to the customer. All right. But you see, in the other table, you also have customer ID. In the other table, you also have what we call customer ID. So now this customer ID, like in order for you to initiate a transaction, all right, you are going to be a customer. It's like you don't have an account with First Bank and you initiate a transaction. You can't. Okay? You can't say that, oh, I have a First Bank account and you don't have an account number with First Bank. It makes no sense. All right? So in order for you to place an order, okay, you need a customer ID, you need a reference, you need an information. So you see, that's why the customer ID is in the order table, because you can't make an order without being a customer, or you can't without having a profile or whatever the scenario is. All right. So now looking at this, okay, when the primary key is still the same thing, but what is a foreign key now is very simple. Primary key is simple, which is a unique identifier for each customer or for each record in the table. All right. Now, you see, when that primary key travels out, okay, it moves out of this table. It moves out of this table and it is existing somewhere else. All right. It is existing somewhere else. It becomes a foreign key. Now, let me use you as an example so you understand a little bit better. So if you're currently based in Nigeria, that is your primary residence, okay? That's your nationality. Nobody will ask you for anything. Anywhere you go to, you're a Nigerian in Nigeria. All right, that's your primary residence. That's the same thing with customer ID in the customer table. So this is his home address, okay? The customer ID in the customer table, that is his home address. Do you understand? That is his origin. That's where it's originated from. But you see, the moment you travel out of Nigeria to a neighboring country, to Ghana, what would happen? You become a foreigner. You are still the same person. It's still you. All right. But the moment you leave Nigeria, all right, and you travel to Ghana, to Sierra Leone, to Cameroon, to South Africa, to Zimbabwe, to Botswana, do you understand? You become a foreigner. You travel to the UK, you become a foreigner. It's the same thing with these keys that we're talking about. You see, when that primary key says that, oh, I want to travel for my master's in Canada, and it travels from this table, okay? It travels and is now existing in another table, all right? It becomes a foreign key. Still the same person, all right? It's still the same person, but it's just that it has changed location, all right? So customer ID relocating from, I said relocating, anyways, you understand what I mean. Relocating from the customer table. So customer table is like your Nigeria, all right? So you left Nigeria and you travel to Ghana, you automatically become a foreigner, all right? In Ghana, okay? So that's that's the difference between the primary key and the foreign key, all right? So they're still the same unique identifier, but it's just that it exists somewhere else. That's where it is originated. All right. But the moment it changes location, it becomes a foreign key. All right. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if you understand what I mean by that. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, Ramat, thumbs up. Okay, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Thanks a lot for that. All right, fantastic. So we understand what primary key. So you see there, you have a primary key, which is your product ID, which is a product ID. Right. So in the product table, you have the product ID. The product ID is basically, like I said, that is its original location. That's where they gave birth to product ID. Okay. That's where product ID was given birth. That is its original place of birth. But you see, obviously, product ID, nobody will tie you down. Okay. So you can easily move around. So if product ID now decides to travel to another table, okay, it becomes a foreign key. It becomes a foreign key. All right. And that's the way it works. That's just the way it works. So primary key, foreign key, they're both unique identifiers. The only thing that separates them is one belongs to the actual entity But the moment it moves out of that entity to another entity, it becomes a foreign key. That's just a simple explanation. And always remember, you in Nigeria, primary resident, the moment you leave Nigeria, you become a foreigner. All right? And that's the way you work it out. Now, let's take a look at this. Let me see the people that will answer this question. So raise up your hand if you would like to answer this question. First question here is, give this table a name. Give this table. So you have this table that has distributor ID, distributor name, age, location, and product ID. I want you to give this table a name. Let's see. Let me see who's going to win this. Who is going to give? What would you name this table? What would you name the table? Are. Oh, Are, unfortunately, people have answered in the chat. Okay. Alfred, my guy. Alfred. Okay, Alfred is going to answer the question first. So it's going to go on my list. So it's called the distributor table. Alfred, do you know why it is called, why are you calling it a distributor table? Do you want to unmute yourself to answer that question real quick? So we can all learn from you also. You can raise up your hand, I would unmute you, okay? Alfred. Well, let me take Are. Okay, Ramat. Oof. Are just dropped down his hand at the nick of time. Alfred, okay. So Alfred, go ahead, please. I'm going to ask you to unmute, yes. Why did you call it a distributor table?
From the table, I can see distributor ID and distributor name. Just those two factors help me to understand that this should be a distributor table. And when you look at the age, the location, and the product, give you, these are attributes of what a distributor will always ask for.
Alfred, you've done so well that I don't think you need to be in this class anymore. I think we can give you a role. All you need is you've done fantastically well. You used the right words, you used everything rightly. Okay, perfect, beautiful. So when you look at this is a distributor table because all the attributes are all attributes of a distributor. ID of a distributor, distributor name, the age of the distributor, the location of the distributor, and the product that they are distributing. Simple and short. So these are all attributes of a distributor. I love that. You guys, I've been facilitating for a very long time, but this class, you guys are answering all the questions beautifully. All right. So let's take a look at this now. What is the primary key and what is the foreign key? Let's see who's going to get this. Primary key, foreign key. Samuel got the primary key. Okay, who's going to get the foreign key? Foreign key. Okay, Emmanuel. All right, who wants to answer? I would like to get somebody, that would like to speak. So I'm going to take down two persons' name. Anselm, you can answer the question. Do you want to speak? Someone. Okay, so Anselm, I'm asking you to mute. I can't hear you. I can hear me also. Let me see who can speak first. Okay, Anselm is not speaking. Okay, Anselm, yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, this is Akim.
Akim, go ahead, please, then.
All right, I think
sorry, Mr. Kim, you can go on.
All right, product ID. The primary key is the product ID, since it's a product table.
Okay.
And then
sorry, come again.
Sorry, the distributor ID is the primary key. All right, since it's a distributor table, and then the product ID is the foreign key.
Why is the product ID a foreign key in this situation?
That's like the foreigner in this table.
I love that. That's the foreigner in this table. I absolutely love that. I love the word you use. Okay, yes. So it's an alien. The product ID belongs to the product table. Okay, there's a product entity somewhere. Okay, where the product ID is primarily, residing. Okay, so the product ID in the product table is a primary key. But the moment that product ID traveled out of product ID and came into distributor table, it became a foreign key. Beautiful. With this, I think you guys are good to go. I don't think I need to do anything more. All right. So, but I have another one. Let me test you guys. I have another assessment, real quick assessment. Now, let's see this one now. Let's take a look at this. Give this table a name. Identify the primary and foreign key, and let's see what happens. Let's see. I'm going to test you with this. So you give this table a name, identify the primary and the foreign key. So let's see. Let me see who's going to get this. Let me see who's going to get this. Order table. Fantastic. I love that. Yes, the name is order table. Okay, Akiyemi also, I think Akiyemi has answered like 3 of my questions now. Okay. Okay, so order table, correct. What is the primary and what is the foreign key? What is the primary key and what is the Akiyemi again with the primary key, distributor ID, foreign key. Fantastic, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I've not have your name here, so I'll put your name down. Emmanuel. Okay. Emmanuel, okay, what's the foreign key? I only have one person giving me one foreign key. So you could have multiple foreign key. That's an expo I'm giving you now. Product ID, fantastic. All right, Shegun, fantastic. Shegun answered the question. All right. So very simple, okay? And I think you guys have done very, very well, giving these answers. So because of time, and I may not be able to take any other. All right. So the name of the table is the order table. Okay. So when you place an order, okay, it goes to the distributor. It's a distributor that will send it. Okay. There's a product that you ordered for. There's a date you made that order. There's a location and there's a payment. Have you paid or is it pay on delivery, pay on this, blah, 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 so on and so forth. This is just a very simple table. The primary key is the order ID, okay? And the foreign key is the distributor ID and the product ID. So you could have 2 or more. You could have more. You could have 5, 10 foreign keys, depending on how big the table is, all right? So it's not just one prime foreign key, okay? You could have multiple foreign keys in a table. It's very possible, all right? I don't think there is a primary key, product ID and distributor ID and foreign key. Yes, you have the order ID, okay, which is unique to the order, okay? So you have order ID, which is your primary key, and you have foreign key that's distributor ID and product ID. All right. Do you guys understand this now? Do you guys understand this? Give me a thumbs up if you understand so we can move to another concept. All right, let's go and conquer another concept. If you understand this, let's move on to the next one. So this is just primary and foreign key. We're still going to mix all this thing up together, all right, to understand data modeling, okay? All right, fantastic. I can see thumbs up. You guys are doing well. Thanks a lot for that. Okay, so let's move on to the next. So the next thing we're going to look at now is the concept of what we call fact and dimension table. All right, fact and dimension table. Okay, now I want you guys to calm down, okay, and listen to this. All right, dimension table. Okay, like I said earlier, I'm going to use one keyword here. The dimension table, okay, provides descriptive information. Descriptive, that's one thing you should understand. Descriptive information. Dimension table provides descriptive information. Now, take a look at the customer table. The customer table stores descriptive information about the customer. Nothing more than that. Anytime you open the customer table like this, the only thing you see there is customer information. Simple and short. Descriptive information about the customer. All right. The same thing with the product table. Product table also stores descriptive information about the product. The weight of the product, the color of the product, the price of the product. These are all descriptive information about the product. So when they say a dimension table, just think of descriptive information. All right? Just think of descriptive information. All right? So anytime you say a table that stores only information about an entity, nothing more is inside. All right. So anytime you open it, it only stores information about that entity. It is called a dimension table. All right. So you have you have a customer table, it stores only customer information, the customer name, the customer address, the customer email, phone number, date of birth, race, gender, height, weight, all those things, descriptive information about the customer. That's a dimension table. If you open another one and it is, let's say, a doctor's table, like doctors in the hospital, all right? Or let me say doctor, okay, like our Ghanaian brothers, okay? So doctors, you have a doctor's table that stores only information about doctors, then you know that this is a dimension table. So if you know the doctor's name, you have the doctor's address, you have the doctor's information, everything that describes the doctor, then that's another dimension table. The same thing with products, all right? So that's a dimension table. But now you have a second type of table here. You have a second type of table over here. Now, the key thing that I want you to understand, two things I want you guys to remember with the fact table, all right? Two things you need to understand about your fact table is the fact table contains primary key for all dimension table and associated facts, okay? It contains primary key. So in your facts table, you would have multiple, primary keys. That's the first thing you should notice. The moment you see multiple primary keys, then it's likely going to be a facts table. Secondly, the second thing you should notice with your facts table is your facts table will contain metrics. Okay, metrics. Take for example, let me just put this. Let's say with this, you work in a bank, for example, okay? You have the customer table that stores customer information, only customer information, okay? And you have another table that is transaction table, all right? The customer table stores only customer information, okay? And you have another transaction table that stores transaction details, anything that has to do with transaction. So the money, the amount you sent, the amount you received, how much is your account balance, all this information, the time you sent the money, all this information about the transaction is stored in the transaction table. Now, if you want to do any form of calculation, you want to find out on average how much do people send out. You want to do calculations. You're not going to go to the customer table because the customer table does not have that information. The customer table contains only customer information, the customer name, the customer address, the customer phone number, email, no metrics. It doesn't have any numbers or anything. You're going to go to the transaction table that has how much you send on a daily basis. So I can look at your transaction history and say that, on average, you send out 10,000 naira every single day on average. So you see that facts table stores all the metrics. Okay, so now with this particular order, okay, if currently I just have quantity there, so I can find out the total number of quantity that was delivered in the last 2 weeks. So if the boss or your subordinate, or I say subordinate, your line manager or the CEO, CFO is asking questions around what's the total quantity, what's the quantity we did last month, you're not going to go to the customer table. The customer table does not have that information. The product table does not have that information. The order table is the fact table that stores all those transactions that happened. All right. So you want to get the total quantity, you want to get the total profit, you want to get the cost implication, you want to get all those, things that have to do with metrics, with you do your calculations, you're doing, total quantity. So everything is gotten from the fact table. All right. So two things. Your facts table will contain primary keys, okay, from different dimension tables. Secondly, it contains metrics. So when you are doing calculation, the quantity sold, the amount sold, the average sales, everything will be done based on the fact table. All right. I'm going to use a very simple example to explain this again to you. I'm going to use another example to explain this concept to you. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. This is one data, okay, that was provided. So the data has how many columns? Okay, let's see. Let's count it. All right. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 16. Everybody's getting it. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Absolutely correct. So I'm going to take James and Bowel. Bowel has been answering my question, but all right. So now they've given us this big data set. Well, this data set that has 16 columns. All right, that has 16 columns. Now the key thing is how many tables can be extracted from this data set. You know, we started with one table and we broke it down. Okay, somebody say 3 tables. Lamid, 4 tables. Somebody say 4. Anybody, do I have any 2? Do I have any 1? Do I have 3? Do I have 5? How many tables can be extracted from this data set? If you're very confident in yourself, I would want you to unmute yourself and let's talk. If you are confident, raise up your hand and let's have a conversation. If you believe in 3, if you believe in 4, I want you guys to raise up your hand and I would like to take 2 people, P and 4. So I'm going to start with Ramat. Ramat, go ahead, speak, please.
Okay,
Ramat,
sir.
okay, go ahead, yes.
We have 3 tables.
All right, let me have it. Product ID. Give me a second.
ID.
Let me get my pen. Okay, yes. So you have how many tables? 3 tables, yeah?
3 tables.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We have the
Table.
product ID,
Okay.
the branch ID, and the location ID.
And location. So these are the 3 tables that you have here, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what will be in those 3 tables? Can you tell me? So you have product ID, branch ID, and location.
The product ID has its own attributes, which are
what attributes?
The product and the name. I think the name of the product.
Okay, is that
the
all?
name of the product, sorry, the brand and the category.
Okay, so this is one table, correct? That
Yes,
stores
sir.
product information. Beautiful, I love that. So thank you thanks for that. The branch, what about branch? Branch, you said branch ID, correct?
The branch, the date, the day, month, and year.
Branch, no, it doesn't know. It's just branch ID and the branch. Okay, that's the second table. So it's descriptive information. Now, the date is not a descriptive information about the branch, unless it contains maybe the dates the branch was opened or something. But in this scenario, it doesn't play that way. All right. Okay. What about location? What's descriptive information about the location? Yeah.
The state. The city.
Okay. That's all.
I wanted to be quantity and price before, but because you said the branch ID, which shows the branch alone, the dates and the
Yeah, you're correct. I'm just trying to. I just want to be sure.
I think it's just the state and the city.
Okay, fantastic, beautiful, beautiful. It's just the state and the city. Those are descriptive
We have more
information.
than 3. I think we should have more than 3 tables.
Yes, we have more than 3 tables. So you've identified 3, okay, which is good. Somebody said 4. Who believes in 4? Let me see. Let me see the 4th person. Okay, Ramat, you've done very well. I'm just going to take your name down. You got 3. All right, all right. So which is good.
Okay,
all right. So let me take Abdulhamid. All right. I'm gonna take Abdulhamid. Abdulhamid, your hand just went down. What happened? Where's Abdulhamid? Abdulhamid, your hand went down, so I really can't tell where you are now. Let me take Anselm while I wait for Abdulhamid. Anselm, how many tables do we have?
4. I think
4.
The last one should be like the other table, sorry.
Order. Okay, the other table will contain what? Sorry.
It contain the price, the date, the month, the year,
okay,
and the revenue.
Fantastic. So this is what that's beautiful. Anselm, I don't think I have your Anselm, I don't have your name. Okay, that means you've answered my. All right, Anselm, another one. Okay, beautiful. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 tables. 4 tables. Okay, which is very good. Now let me show you. Let's do it together. Okay, let me now show you how to break it down. So first of all, you guys are all correct. If you said we should break that, we can extract a product table from the data. So we have the product ID, we have the product name, descriptive information about product. That's what you should understand. The product ID, the product name, the brand, the category of the product, these are all product information. First thing, product dimension. Okay, that's a dimension table. Now, the next one is branch, like Ramat said, branch information. So branch ID and the branch itself, the name of the branch or whatever it is. And if you have other branch information, it will be contained there. Now, the next one is something that we didn't talk about, but anyways, that's why we're having this conversation, okay? All right. Next one is a calendar, okay? A calendar. So you see, if you've ever worked in any business environment, calendar is a very intricate information, all right? In the sense that you have what we call financial years, all right? You have what we call fiscal year, okay? So in as much as the normal year runs from January to December, the financial year for some organization is different, all right? It could be starting in May, all right? The financial year could actually be starting in May. Fiscal year can be starting in another period, so on and so forth. So you see, all these things are very, very critical information. But like I said, this is an additional information for you just to write upon. We didn't talk about this. We talked about product ID, branch ID, so on and so forth. So you could also have a calendar dimension table, all right, that would store calendar descriptive information. So the day, month, year, fiscal year, financial year, and all those things, all those information can actually be done in the calendar table. So you store only descriptive information about calendar, nothing more than that. The date, the month, the year, the quarter, all those things can be in the calendar table. All right. Now, the next one is location. Ramat and every other person got this correctly. Location. So you have the location ID, you have the state, and you have the city. These are all descriptive information about the location. So state, city, if you have longitude, latitude, you have any other information, postcode, these are all location descriptive information. All right. So the last but not the least is your fact table. Is your fact table that stores all the primary key from other dimension table plus metrics, like I said. So now with these metrics, I can use the facts table to do calculations like what is the average quantity? What is the total price? What was the total revenue? What was the average quantity? What was the average price? What was the average revenue? You can do calculations based on the fact table. So you won't go to the product to go and start. The maximum you can do in product is to go and count how many products you have. Do you understand? All right, how many products is left in the inventory and all that. Those are what you can do with the product table. So you really can't do any advanced analysis, all right, to track. So you can't do tracking, you can't do anything like that, in your dimension tables. All right. So now let me ask the next question. All right. How do you build a relationship between all the tables together? How do you build the relationship? We talked about relationship, correct? So you have your dimension tables now and your fact table. Now, how do you establish a relationship between your dimension table and your fact table? If you can answer the question, I want you to raise up your hand. Okay, don't worry. Do you know what? Because of time, let me take this. I will do the other one. We'll do the other ones together. Okay. So in order for you to establish this relationship, you see, you have a primary key here, which is a product ID. All right. That relationship with the product ID in this table, primary key to foreign key. That's a relationship. Branch ID here is a primary key. The branch ID is a foreign key. That's how you establish another relationship. The date here is a foreign key. The date here is a primary key, and that is how you establish another relationship. The location, okay? Primary key, location ID, and location ID also here is a foreign key. And that's how you build this is what we call a star schema. This is what we call a star schema. Okay, so in the database, you could actually have it in a star schema in a data warehouse. Okay, you can actually have it in a star schema or you can have it in a snowflake schema. So this is how all those things can, anyways, we can't go too technical, okay, or too very, more than what we're doing. All right, because it's just a 2-hour session. So we can't do more than what we are doing at the moment. But do you understand? It looks like a star. That's why they call it star schema. So if you've ever drawn the star, so you see how I'm just going to try to mimic a star. Okay. Okay. So pardon my drawing. This is a very wonderful drawing. It seems like my star, this star here is dancing shaku shaku. Dancing shaku shaku. All right. But anyways, that's how it looks like. That's why we call it a star schema. Okay. That's why it's referred to as a star schema. Anyways, that's what we call it. Okay. So, but do you have any question? Do you have any question? Any question? Any question? Let me see. Because we have a practical, we're going to do hands-on practical session now. Okay, that we're going to go into in the next 5-10 minutes. We'll do it for like the next 10 minutes maximum. All right. So this is what we call a star schema. So now let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's build a data model for a hospital. Okay. All right. So we're going to be using Draw the Iron. The hospital's name is Zain Medicals. Okay. So Zain Medicals, we are all data engineers at the moment. Okay. Let's just wear the cap. Let's wear a cap of data engineer. Let me literally get a cap. I'll wear a cap. So currently we are all data engineers, okay? All right, and we're wearing the cap of a data engineer. All right, and they've given us their data points. They've given us their data points in this hospital, okay? All right, the medicals have given us their data to say that help us. We have data issue. We can't do reporting properly. We have seen a lot of duplication. We are seeing a lot of, data not making sense, data reliability, data quality, so on and so forth. There were so many issues. And they've given us their data points, that this is their data points. These are all the information that they gather, okay, across the business, okay? Now, let me ask you guys, from the session today, I want you guys to bamboozle me. I want you guys to bamboozle me. Okay, bamboozle means to surprise, to blow me out of my head. Do you understand? I want us to draw, I want us to create a table. We want to create different tables for this hospital. Now, looking at this, all right, let's create, how many tables can we take from this? How many tables? Let's do it small. What is the first table you can extract from the data points? What is the first table? Nelson has gone ahead to give me 4 tables. Nelson, you can raise up your hand and let's do it together. Confidence, 5 tables. Okay, beautiful. I love this. So if you have, I want you guys to raise up your hand. Nelson, confidence, please raise up your hand so I can unmute you. All right. So Nelson, go first. Then I'll take confidence. Confidence, raise up your hand so I can call you out. Okay, I can ask you to unmute yourself. Nelson, go ahead, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Nelson.
So I said,
you said 4 tables, correct?
Yeah. So number 1 is customer dimension, which we have first name, middle name, birth, gender, email, phone number, address, height, and weight.
These are all. Is it customer, or would this be a customer table?
I just want to go with that name, customer dimension. Yeah, customer table or customer dimension.
All right. So we can also call it patients because the hospital. So we can either call them. They are customers actually, to be honest. Okay. Well, we can call them patients also. We can call them patients. Okay.
Patients.
Pardon my writing. Yeah, no problem. That's fine. Okay. Let's go on to the next one.
Okay. Number 2, we have procedures dimension.
Oh, beautiful. What's the information about procedures?
As procedure name, procedure dimension, procedure date, and procedure amount.
Fantabulous. All right. But there is an ECOP there somewhere. Well, I'll tell you when you get there. Just continue.
Yeah, I think I've seen it too. So
what's it?
The amount and dates.
No, just the dates. It's just the dates that is the red one out. It's just the
Yes,
dates. I'll explain it, don't worry. I will explain it. So if you don't understand why the date is a dimension, it's another dimension. So
Okay,
let me just circulate out. Okay. All right,
So
continue.
number
Continue.
our third table, we have the
Yes.
doctor's name,
Okay. Doctor's
doc,
name.
doctor specialty, and doctor location.
Wonderful, wonderful. So doctor's name, specialty, and location, another table, correct?
Yes, sir. And the fourth table,
Okay.
we have the ward name, ward type,
Okay.
ward director, ward capacity, and ward location.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. So, okay. And the last but not the least,
That is, we have the duration, the total amount, HMO amount, and total amount paid. That will be under our fourth table.
beautiful. Yeah, I think you guys, I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm going to be getting such beautiful answers, honestly speaking. So let's count the number of tables, Nelson. Okay. So we have one table here. We have
2,
2, 3,
3,
4,
4, and 5.
5. We have 5 tables. Beautiful. I said, Nelson, you've not answered any question. This is your first question. I'm still going to put down your name. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. 5 tables, and you got them correctly. So now, this time around, Nelson, I'm going to ask you to, okay, so just put on your hand, but you've done well, Nelson. Thanks a lot for that. 5 tables, all right? Now, you have 1, which is your patient's table, number 2. So we're going to be using draw.io. So we use draw.io to draw out our data model, okay? So let's use draw.io. So go to any browser of your choice, any browser. I'm going to be using Google Chrome. All right, just go to open any browser and literally write, just go to your browser and type draw.io. That's all you need to write, okay? Just go to your browser and type in draw.io, okay? That's it, all right? When you press enter, it's free of charge. It's literally free of charge. You might need to register or create an account, okay? With your email, any email of your choice. It really doesn't matter. It's free. You understand? So you can create it by yourself. Now, the next part of it is you want to create a diagram because we call it, what do we call it? ERD, okay? Entity Relationship Diagram. So you want to draw a diagram, okay? So that's what we want to do at this point in time. So click here, create a new diagram, all right? So you see there are so many types of diagram. You can see it here, entity relationship diagram. Entity relationship diagram. But I'm not going to go through that phase. You could try that at your own time, okay? But I'm going to go with a blank diagram. So I'll teach you how you can design it from scratch. It's easier for me to teach you from scratch, all right? If you're your own, you can, if you understand how to do it from scratch, you can work with any other prototype that is available. So I'm going to go with blank diagram. So please don't try to replicate alongside with me. You're likely going to get lost. Just listen. You will get the recording, you will get the materials, you'll be able to do it by yourself. All right. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to click on blank diagram and I'm going to click on create. Okay. So I'm going to save it to my desktop, and I'm going to call it Zane. I'm going to call it Zane and I'm going to press save. Okay. So I just gave it a name called Zane. You see it here, Zane. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, my screen is not that big enough, or I don't want to split the screen because I'm doing a presentation. So I'll just use it, just see it. You can see if you can see my screen, just put a 1 in the chat. So if you can see my screen very well, put a 1 in the chat, just a 1. Okay, fine. This is good enough. Okay, then. All right. So I'm just going to make it big enough so you can still see it very well. So I just want to be able to see the data points and you see how I am going to draw my data model by the side, okay? So now this is draw.io. So once you create your account and you do the step like create a new diagram, select blank diagram, you should get a blank canvas like this. Blank is blank, okay? So all I need to do now is to draw my data model, okay? Let me show you how to do it in the next 5 minutes, okay? All right. So now, first thing, these are, different icons that you can work with. But the icon that we're looking for, we want to draw is an entity relationship diagram. So you see entity relation, that's what you're looking for. So click on it, all right, and you'll see the design. You see different designs. What you're looking for is the first table. You see it here? See that table? Click on it, all right, and you should see this table in here, all right? This is a bit tiny, but anyways, we're just working alongside with it, okay? So you could increase the font size, click on the table. When you click on the table, you could increase the font size. You see style, you see text, you see arrange. But I'm going to go to text because I want to increase the font size. Okay, so you can click on them and increase the font size. I'm just going to leave it the way it is at the moment. All right, so that we can see it properly. All right, so now this table, we'll take the first table, which contains first name, middle name, patient's table or customer table, any how you want to call it. It really doesn't matter. But I'm going to call my patient because patient table. Okay. So what is my primary key? My primary key, what would be the primary key, guys? Let me see. Let me test some people. What would be my primary key to identify each patient? What would be the primary key? Patient ID, Abdulhamid. Abdulhamid on fire today. Patient underscore ID. Okay, so that's the patient ID. All right. So you now every other information here would be information about the patient. So the patient first name, middle name, last name, so on and so forth. So I'll just double click on each one of them and I will edit it. First name. Sorry, it's very tiny. I think I'll just make it big enough and zoom in. All right. Okay, so you can see it properly. I think I'll just zoom in. I think that's what I'll do. Okay. So you see it here. I'm just going to double click here and change it to first name. All right. Second one, last name. Sorry, this can be very famous sometimes. Last name. Next one, DOB, date of birth. Okay, so now we only have 3 rows currently, first name, last name. So I would need to duplicate. All right, duplicate. Okay, sorry. Click on that line. All right, and duplicate. So I'll keep duplicating till I get the number of ones that I need. All right, so I'll just keep duplicating. I need how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 more. So I'll just duplicate a couple of times. Sorry, click, then duplicate. Click, duplicate, click, and duplicate. So date of birth, I have what next? Gender. Okay, then I have email. Okay, I have phone number. Okay, I have address. Okay, I have height and weight. So I just need one more, duplicate. So I have what? Height and height and weight. All right, fantastic. This is my patient's table now. So I have my primary key, which captures the patient's which is the primary key, patient's ID. Then I have all other descriptive information under the table. So the first name, last name. I have middle name somewhere. I forgot to put middle name. Okay. Yes, thanks a lot for that. All right. You could also just move that. Okay, so I have middle name here. Middle name. Fantastic. Thanks a lot for that, guys. Thank you very much. So let me go down again and create the next table. So the next table, patient's table. I'll just move it to the side here. And this one would be procedure table. Okay, procedure table. In this place, we would have a unique ID or what? Procedure ID. Procedure ID. So procedure basically means that it means in the hospital that they carry out different operations. All right. So it could be dental, it could be eye, it could be ear, so each of these procedure would have a unique ID. So if you come and say that, oh, I want to do procedure 2212, I know you're doing something that has to do with leg, okay? Or you come and say you're doing procedure 221, all right? You know you're doing with this particular kind of procedure. So each procedure would have a name, okay? Even though they have a unique ID, the procedure also would have a name, procedure name, okay? We'll have a procedure description. I'll tell you more about the procedure, okay? Procedure description. Okay, then procedure amount, how much we charge people for that particular procedure. That's a descriptive information about the procedure. Okay, procedure amount. Okay, somebody said age. Did I miss age? No, there was no age there. It's just date of birth. So you see, the only reason why date is not there. Can anybody tell me the reason why procedure date is not in the procedure table? Can anybody tell me, is there any reason why? Do you know the reason why procedure date is not in the dimension table? So if I have the date of birth, I can get the person's age, I can calculate it because it's a fact. Why is it a fact? Why do you think it's a fact? Why do you think it's a fact is the question, yeah. Very simple, let me explain it to you, all right? So the dimension table contains only descriptive information about the procedure, about the dimension, okay? So when you're looking at the procedure table, it stores only descriptive information. The date of the procedure is not a descriptive information about the procedure, all right? It's a descriptive information about when the person came to take the procedure, which is going to be, let's say, the transaction. Okay, so if you came yesterday to do a procedure, that procedure is going to be in it's going to be in another table. All right, so it's actually not a procedure. It's not going to be a descriptive information about the procedure. The procedure can happen at any point in time. It's not restricted to a particular time. All right. So that's the reason why it's going to be in the fact table, not in your dimension table. So it's not a descriptive information about the procedure. It doesn't affect the procedure. All right. So the procedure has a name, it has a description, and there's a charge for that particular procedure. And it could be so on. There could be other information, but those are the ones that we're sticking with just for now. All right. So now procedure dates is not a prescriptive information about the procedure. So when you're looking at a dimension, you're looking at things that you can use to describe that particular dimension. Customer, looking at the patient, these are all descriptive information about a patient. So every patient should have a first name, middle name, last name, date of birth. These are all information about the customer, about the patient. Now, when you go to procedure, you need descriptive information about the procedure name, the description of the procedure, all right, and procedure amount. But when you now say procedure date, it's not describing the product, it's not describing the procedure, all right? So if you go into the hospital, for example, okay, and you want to take on the procedure, the day you get there is the date they will give you, or the day in the future. That's the date they will give you to come and take in that procedure. It's not a fact. It's not a descriptive information about the procedure. All right. You have to come into the hospital in order for you to book that particular procedure. All right. So you have to book it. You have to schedule that procedure. So it's not a descriptive information about the procedure. So I hope you guys, it makes sense to you guys. Anyways, if it makes sense, put a 1 in the chat so I don't keep over explaining myself. All right. Because anytime I feel everyone, because I can't get, okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. All right, so the next one is the doctor, ward, and duration. So I'm just going to create 3 tables very quickly. All right, so this one is going to be my doctor table. Doctor table. All right. So over in the doctor table, every doctor will have an ID. Doctor 221. Your appointment is available. Doctor ID. Okay. So in the doctor ID, every doctor has a name. Okay. Every doctor has a name. Sorry, I'm typing fast, so I'm making a lot of mistakes. So we have doctor specialty. So are you an ear surgeon? Are you for what specialty? Doctor specialty. All right. The next one is doctor location. So different doctors can belong to different locations. So, all right. So what's your own location? Are you on the mainland or are you on the island? Sorry, I don't know why this thing keeps going on. All right. So that's doctor's table. Then the next one is the ward. So what ward which your procedure take place? That's another table entirely. So I'm gonna use this as ward table. Okay. So every ward will have a unique ID. Ward ID. Okay. Ward ID. ID would do what? Pardon my French. Okay. So ward name. Every ward will have a name. Okay. Every ward will have a name, would have a type. Okay. Okay. What else? Ward director. I'm going to duplicate like I did last time. Okay. So this time around, this is going to be what? Ward director. Okay, so if you have different words, if you have, you could actually create another table for word director, a word director table that would reference, we can also do that. But in this situation, we'll just keep it this way. Word capacity. So capacity. Okay, and word location, simple. Word location. Keeps moving out of proportion. Okay, location. Location. All right. The last but not the least is the facts table. Okay, the facts table. So I'm just going to create it real quick. Okay. So in this facts table, I'll call it transaction table, or let's say transaction table. Transaction table. Okay. So everything will be a transaction ID. Transaction underscore ID. Okay. Transaction ID. All right. So transaction ID. So anytime you come to me, you have to pick a date for the procedure. So that's when you now have the procedure date. Okay, procedure date, duration of the procedure, duration. Okay. Duration. Okay. Total amount. So I'm going to duplicate just the same way I did because we have more. Okay. So duration, we have total amount. Okay. We have HMO discounts if you have any HMO discounts. Okay. HMO discount. All right. And total amount paid. Total amount paid. Okay, so now that I have everything created. All right, so now that I have everything created, I don't need that table anymore. I don't need my slides anymore. I can easily just put this in the middle, okay? Procedure, doctor, and the word table over here. Okay, I can move it down here. Well, now you see, This is my transaction table. Do you know anything that is missing here? Can you figure out anything that is missing over here? Akiyemi, let me check you.
Yeah, the primary keys.
Primary in the facts table, correct?
Yes, yes.
Exactly. So in order for me to build a relationship between the patient and the transaction table, what do I need? What key do I need here? What key do I need here? So to create a relationship between the patient table and the transaction table, what ID do I need here? So every patient that comes in, patient ID, fantastic. So this, on the other hand, will now be a foreign key, F key. Will now be a foreign key. Okay, will now be a foreign key. So you see this, you can come here and draw a line, and just draw a line to this. There are different types of relationship. We can't visit that today, but at least for a start, you can establish that the primary key here relates to the foreign key here. So anytime you come to make a transaction, it's a patient that will initiate a transaction. All right. So even though you go to the hospital, you will need to register as a patient before they can schedule your appointment or any other thing. So you need an ID. So even back in the days when you go to federal hospital, they will give you a slip and your number 1121. That's your number. So you have to come with your card every time you want to do any. So that's the primary key. Do you understand? So anytime you want to make payment, can I get your ID card? So they'll write your number on your receipts to say that you have initiated the payments or you've made payments. So let's go to the next one. Word. Okay. The next one is Word. So this time around, we're going to be using Word ID, which is correct. Okay. Word ID. All right. The same thing. You take the primary key here. The moment the primary key relocates, drag and connect it with this. All right. Same thing with every other thing that we have there. Just what? Duplicate. And I'll duplicate it 2 times so that we can have it in there. Doctor's ID. The doctor that will be responsible for the procedure. So we need the primary key there. So this doctor ID relates to this doctor ID. Okay. And the last but not the least, the procedure ID that you're coming in for, procedure ID. Okay, you see procedure ID here connects with this guy over here. Okay, simple and short. But also we could add one more thing, okay, just so that you're familiar with it. I could just insert a new table and I can insert a calendar table. Okay, the calendar table, just so that you get familiar with it early enough. Calendar table. Now, this calendar table would be used for anything that has to do. So the date will be your primary key. All right. So other descriptive information about the dates, you can get what can you extract from the dates? At least I know I can extract the day of the week, All right. So if it's a Monday, it's a Tuesday, a Wednesday, I can extract the week number. I can extract the week number. All right. I can extract the month from the date. Exactly. What else, guys? What else? You guys you're doing well today. What else can you extract from the calendar? Appointment time. That's going to be part of the procedure date. Yeah, fantastic. I love that. So I can extract the year from the date. I can extract the quarter it belongs to. Quarter. Okay, quarter. Okay, and so on and so forth. So any other thing, physical year, blah, 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 and all that, you can have that. So you see the data, which is the primary key, would connect directly with, sorry. The primary key here will relate to this as a foreign key. So this one here would be your primary key. This will be your foreign key, sorry. That's key. Okay, so these are the things that this is how you see you can design your own dimension tables. I'm just going to move these things around so they don't intersect one another. So they just have something cleaned up. So this is your ERD, a data warehouse data. This is a data model for a data warehouse. Okay. So you see, all these things might look so technical at the start. Okay. But you see, there are different types of model and different types of relationship, like I said, but we're not going to go too in-depth into that today because of time. All right. But you see, you can easily create your own data model easily. And organizations don't know this because they keep just working with one blank data set that has 40 columns. You understand? And you see, those things lead to so many errors with the data, so many errors, so many misconceptions, so many bad decision making, just because of the way the data is structured. So you see, over time, organizations have noticed that they need a data engineer that would come in to design, to architect, to build their data warehouse, to build their data model, the different data models, and clean up the data within the organization for it to make sense, in order for them to make sense of the business data. So do you think if you're confident, in at least you are 70% confident that you could try this by yourself? I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. Let me see how many people are confident enough. 70%. If you are 70 to 80% above, you can try this by yourself. I want you to put a 1 in the chat. Fantastic, beautiful. I enjoyed myself. I won't lie to you guys. I absolutely enjoyed myself. You see, this is something you can learn. Do you understand? This is what we learned in just under. We started at what, 5 o'clock, okay, and this is just started at 5 o'clock. This is roughly 1 hour, roughly 1 hour going to 2 hours, 1 hour 30 minutes plus, and you have been able to learn this. Do you understand? You've been able to learn a certain concept that takes people months, sometimes, months to actually learn. Some people weeks, some people months, but you've learned it in just roughly 2 hours, not up to 2 hours. All right. And these are things that you can actually get from going through our data engineering program. Okay. So data engineering is in high demand, and that's just the honest truth. Okay, it's in high demand, and I usually talk about positioning. I'm a very big fan of positioning yourself to get the best out of your career. So if you're looking to become a data engineer, a certified data engineer, this training program will take you 0 to 100. See what we just did in the last 1 hour, 30 minutes plus, all right? And you're able to learn every concept, and I know that you're confident enough to speak about them, all right? Now, imagine what you would do in 3 months. Imagine what you would learn in 3 months, okay? So let me provide a basic overview about the training program, okay? So the training program is 100% virtual. Currently, I'm based in the UK, and your facilitators are based in Canada, in the US. You have some of them based in Nigeria also. So you have people that are going to be coming. So it's 100% virtual instructor-led. You would have someone like me explaining this concept, okay? All right, explain this concept, breaking it down, answering your concerns, answering your questions, and so on and so forth. So it's 100% online. So regardless of anywhere you are, you can join the session. You're working in Nigeria, all right, and you have to go and work in Ghana, for example. You have to go on work-related visit to Ghana. You can always attend the session because it is 100% virtual, okay? Secondly, it's hands-on practical sessions with videos, exercises, and projects you get to work on. So what we do today, practical. So everything practical, practical, practical. So the videos are recorded. Even if you miss the session, you will always get access to recorded videos that we did in class. And that's another beauty of virtual classes, where you can always get a recording and see back. If you're a night person, in the midnight, you wake up and start to watch the videos to assimilate faster. If you're an early morning person, you can get those videos, watch it, and practice at your own pace. So you see, you will still get all the exercises, projects for you to get to work on. Secondly, you get lifetime access to the materials and your experts. So the people that you are going to be working with, the experts are going to be teaching, facilitating you. You get a lifetime access to these people, and you also get lifetime access to the materials. So there's no expiry date on materials. So you see the videos, the video recordings, and the class materials, you will get live access to the materials. All right. Secondly, the fourth one we have here is you will get to 30 plus classes, and 50 plus topics. So for all this data modeling, there are different types of topics you're going to go through in data engineering. All right. And I'm going to explore that with you in the next couple of minutes. Okay. So you have 30 plus classes, 50 plus topics that you'll be going through. The average salary of a data engineer is 9 million naira in Nigeria. And if you're based in the UK, it is 52,000 pounds, 52,000 plus pounds in the UK. In the US and in Canada, it's straight up 6 figures for the average salary of data engineer in Canada and in the US. Now, this training program, you get to work on 10, you get to add 10 projects to your portfolio. You get to work on 10 projects and you add them to your portfolio. So most times the recruiters are looking for people that have experience and who can showcase what they've done, you know, in their own experience. Another thing we're going to talk about is 100% job visibility. I'm going to explain that in the next couple of minutes, how we are going to, and how we are going to, you know, provide that, you know, job visibility for you to get opportunities, not just in your local environment, but also remote opportunities in the US, Canada, the UK, Germany, so on and so forth. All right. Industry relevant certification. After the training program, you get a certificate. All right. And the length of the training program is 3 months plus. So it's about 14 weeks. Okay. So it's a 14 weeks training program, 3 months training program. And you also get 1 month virtual internship. You get 1 month virtual internship for free. So this is free of charge. Okay. It comes for free. So the internship program is free, but you get 14 plus, you get 3 months plus, you know, of training program. Okay. Now, becoming a data in 3 months, the key question now to ask is, how do you get started? What do you need to learn to get started in data engineering? Now, a lot of people are, you know, ask these questions because they're not really sure how to start. Like I usually said, the reason we started Analytics is to provide guidance, mentorship to people that are looking to transition into tech. And if you're looking to become a data engineer, what's the first thing you need to understand? You need to provide good introduction to data engineering. So there's a reason why data engineers are in demand at the moment. You need to understand it. So you see how you can position yourself. So we start with an intro to data engineering. We move into Python and SQL. So the two technologies you're going to be working with as a data engineer is with Python and SQL. Now, SQL, most likely 100%, all right? And the reason why you're going to be working with Python and SQL is because each organization store their data in a database. They store their data in a database, all right? So now you are literally going to be extracting data from the database, all right? And you will need SQL to perform those operations. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Structured Query Language. So you're going to be learning how to use Python and SQL in order for you to perform certain operations, okay? Then you move into Linux and GitHub. Okay, so you're going to be using Linux for batch commands, and you're going to be using GitHub for version control. All right. So you're going to be learning about that in the training program. You move into data modeling. We just did a tip of the iceberg today on data modeling. So you're going to go full-fledged. How do you model data for a data warehouse? And how do you model data for a database? So we have terminologies like normalization, cardinality. You go into full details of what data modeling contains. Then after that, you go into Pandas. So Pandas is the library you're going to be working with in order for you to do data transformation, data wrangling, and so on and so forth. So Pandas is a widely used library for data engineers. You're going to be working with Pandas. Then from there, you go into Apache PySpark, all right? And after Apache PySpark, you get to start working project on data extraction, moving data from an on-premise to a cloud platform, extracting data from a CSV file, extracting data from a database, extracting data from files on a local drive, extracting data from on-premise data structures, so on and so forth. So that's the next thing you're going to work with. After that, you get to talk about data cleaning and transformation. After you extract the data, you need to transform it. You need to clean it up. The data is either messy, you have missing values, you have wrong values, you have misspelled words, and so on and so forth. So you need to learn how to perform what we call data cleaning and transformation. Thereafter, like I said, cloud. Okay, you're going to be working with a cloud application, a cloud platform called AWS. So you're going to be working with AWS, as your preferred cloud platform because currently, when you look at when you're looking at the job market and also what is attainable in the industry, AWS is still one of the largest used. I think currently they have over close to 60% of the market, the share market of cloud platforms. Amazon contains about 60% of them. All right. So, you're working with AWS, Amazon Web Services for cloud computing. So you understand the intricacies with an introduction to cloud computing. Thereafter, you get to work with Amazon Web Services. So they're different. They're over close to 100 services, if not more than, on AWS. So you get to work with these AWS services as a data engineer, not as any other product, as a data engineer using Lambda functions, EMR. You get to work with S3 buckets, you get to work with Redshift, so on and so forth. All the things you need to work with as a data engineer. Thereafter, you get to work with data pipeline and orchestration. So basically, you hear a lot of data engineers build what we call data pipeline. So what you mean by data pipeline essentially is moving data from one location to another location. Moving data from location A to location B. Do you understand? So essentially, that's the job of a data engineer. You moving data from one place to the other, making the data readily available. Now, a very simple thing, and after that, you become a data engineer. Now, let me talk about, why data engineering. A lot of people want to become data analysts, data scientists, but one thing the one thing they don't understand is it's the data engineer. Without the data engineer, the data analyst and the data scientist will not be able to do their job perfectly. Without the data engineer, the data analyst and the data scientist wouldn't be able to do their job perfectly. So now, the key question now is, why data engineering? Why is data engineering so important? And that's because a lot of organizations are moving from on-premise to cloud. So they want someone that can move the data, that can do this movement, data migration, like they call it, move the data from on-premise to the cloud platform. That's the first scenario that you should put at the back of your head. Secondly, all right, organizations keep data in different places. Take, for example, the bank. I use the bank because everybody should be able to understand how banking works. Now, take, for example, you have a mobile app. That mobile app, when you initiate transaction or you complete transaction on the mobile app, that app stores its data in one database. All right. You also have POS. Okay, POS transaction has another database. POS database, mobile app database, POS database. You now have ATM again, ATM database. All right. So you see, just off the top of my head, I can see that the bank would have like 3 databases: ATM database, POS database, mobile app database. Well, now the data analyst has been given a task to say that I want to know the total number of transactions that happens on a daily basis, right, in a particular location. So I want to know the total number of transactions that happened in Yaba last week. How do you do this? How does the data analyst come up with that number? It's not by magic. So you see, this information that the data analyst needs exists in 3 tables: POS transactions, ATM transactions, and mobile app transaction. And somebody is looking for how can you combine everything together. It's not the job of the data analyst to combine all the data. Now, the data engineer is this person that will build what we call a data pipeline. We'll build what we call a data pipeline. Basically, you know how a pipe works. You have a pumping machine outside and water is flowing in the bathroom. How does the water go from the well or from the borehole to the bathroom? There's a pipe that links the borehole to the bathroom. There's a pipe underground that has been laid by the plumber. Okay, so essentially that's what the data engineer does. You have the ATM transaction, you have POS transaction, and you have mobile app transaction. This particular data engineer will move data from all three databases, combine them. Okay, that's what you call extraction. So it's going to extract it from all the three databases, perform data cleaning and transformation, and load it into either a cloud platform or an on-premise database in order for the data analyst to do their analysis. So that is the key role of a data engineer. So that's why they need data engineer, because organizations are keeping data in different places and they need somebody that will come to amalgamate the data within the organization. So you see, the roadmap is this is the roadmap, and you'll get access to the slides. Okay. So this is more details on what you will learn during the training program. So you'll get started with data engineering fundamentals, understand what is data, why data engineering, big data, what is big data, 5 V's of big data, database introduction, what's the difference between a database, a data lake, a data warehouse, a data mart, so on and so forth. What is cloud computing? So basically starting with the fundamentals. Thereafter, we'll go into Python programming, where you get to start with Python programming, exploratory data analysis, processing JSON and REST payloads, Python database programming. You're going to work with SQL, DDL, DML, DQL, data definition, data manipulation, and data query language. So you go into intricate details. These are like the slides are going to be sent to you. So bear in mind that you can always go this at your own pace, read each and every one of them before making any decision. All right, so you're going to work with data modeling, like I said, pandas, Apache Spark, data extraction, data cleaning, cloud computing, AWS web services, and last but not least, data pipeline and orchestration. So that's essentially what you're going to be working with. So all through your communication, you're going to be working with ChatGPT. So you're going to be working with ChatGPT as a preferred tool to be used as AI in order to enable in order for you to leverage AI while you're learning, basically as a data engineer. All right. So you're going to be working with ChatGPT in the process of learning data engineering. So the key question now is, why should you train with Stanalytics? Why should you train with us? Why should you come and learn data engineering with Stanalytics? That's the next question. All right. And it's because of these four intricate details, which is up-to-date curriculum. So we're looking at the industry. Like I said, currently I work as a data science consultant, and we have a pool of experts that we engage in order for them to train you in data engineering. So we have up-to-date curriculum. What is attainable in the industry at the moment is what we are training you on. Secondly, industry experts with hands-on experience. So you're going to be working with people that are currently in the industry. All right, people that are currently in the industry. Okay, so those are the things that you're going to be working with. Secondly, is blended training delivery to accommodate everyone. So everyone learns at different pace. So how do we bring in everybody together to ensure that everybody is learning at the same pace? That is what we call the blended approach to learning. Okay, blended approach. So we have a mixture of live classes and tutorial videos, what we call them watch me do it videos, whereby we're giving you additional materials to build up on your experience. So you learn Python in class, for example, there's a virtual class, there's an instructor that taught you Python. Okay, we still have additional videos that will help you understand Python a bit more, that are very short clips video that would explain Python a lot more at your own pace. Okay, so it's blended. So you have the live classes, and you also have watch me do it videos that would help you, balance what you do in class and, self-paced. All right. The last but not the least is additional employability services. Okay, so when you combine all these things together, I'm going to talk more about additional employability services in a second. So when you combine all these things together, you become, a master data engineer. All right. So now these additional employability services that we offer our participants, what are they? Now, we've talked about data curriculum, we've talked about industry experts, you working with industry experts, we talk about blended, training delivery, we talk about additional employability services. Now, the key question is, what are these additional employability services? So we have CV review. So we're going to help you revamp your CV. So if you're going to be learning data engineering and you've never worked as a data engineer, how do you tailor your CV to get a job? Majority of these jobs are looking for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years experience, 5 years experience. How do you convince a recruiter with your CV that you have the length of experience? How do you get that? That's what we're going to do for you. I'm going to help you review your CV. We're going to make it ATS compliant. So ATS basically means application tracking software or system. All right, whereby once you apply for most recruiters, obviously it's very difficult for recruiters now to be looking at CVs one after the other. So they have an application, okay, that tracks, okay, people that apply for a job. So the recruiter would give the ATS the requirements they're looking for, and the ATS will be the one to track anybody that applies. If you've ever been in that situation whereby you apply for a job and immediately you applied, you clicked on apply, in the next 30 seconds, you're getting a rejection, then there's a that means it's ATS. The ATS has scanned your CV and see that you are not a match for the role, and you get an instant regression email. All right. So we're going to work with you, okay, to make your CV ATS compliant and also, review your CV to accommodate your years of experience, so on and so forth. So we'll do that for you. All right. Secondly, we're going to do what we call LinkedIn optimization. So LinkedIn is one of the best place to get opportunities, all right, to get a new job, to get a remote opportunity, so on and so forth. So we're going to help you to revamp your CV to become, that experienced data science engineer that you are. The key thing is for you to learn, and after learning, we can revamp you, we can rebrand you on your CV and your LinkedIn so that you become more of a professional on the outward thing. All right. So we're also going to do Upwork optimization. Upwork is a freelance platform for data professionals looking to get, gigs. So if you want to work freelance, we're going to help you optimize your Upwork platform. Okay. The next part is navigating the job market. Now, as a newbie in data engineering, you don't know where to apply for these jobs. Now, I'm very sure you guys don't know where to even apply for jobs, remote opportunities. I'm going to share some of them with you. But essentially, navigating job market exposes you to where you can get these opportunities. So over the years, we have gathered so much experience, in not just teaching, but also helping people land their preferred jobs, either remote, full-time, sponsored opportunity in the UK, Canada. We would work with you to get this sponsored opportunity, or relocation opportunities, and so on and so forth, or remote opportunities, like I mentioned. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is recommendation and reference letter. Okay, so we provide recommendation and references. So once you apply for a job and they need a recommendation letter from us, we will provide you with the recommendation letter. Thereafter, we also help with job and interview preparation. So you have revamped your CV, you have revamped your LinkedIn profile, you apply for a job, you get an invite from a recruiter that they would like to speak to you. You will need to prepare for the interview because there are certain ways you answer questions that you are not familiar with. All right, certain ways. Tell me about yourself is the most asked question during the interview. How do you introduce yourself? There are certain ways you do that. We call it the seat approach. So we have our approach. We call it the seat approach. Okay. So when you talk about your skills, your experience, your achievement, and the type of person that you are, that's basically what it means. I've said it already. Skills, experience, achievement, and the type of person that you are. Now, how do you not answer situational-based question? Oh, as a data engineer, tell me about a time you worked on a data pipeline. Tell me what happened and tell me, just share your experience building a data pipeline. How do you answer this question? How do you answer this scenario-based question? We have what we call the STAR approach. So the situation, the task, the action, and result. So we are going to do a lot of mock sessions to prepare you for the interview. And last but not least, we have mentorship sessions. Okay, so mentorship sessions are sessions we bring in experts or previous participants that have gone on to get jobs in the tech space of your choice. All right, we bring them back to come and speak to you on how they got started, the challenges they went through, and so on and so on. All right. The last but not the least, on the job support. So once you get a job and you have issues, okay, I can remember this was like last week. All right. So a friend, one of the participant that went through the program, okay, not in data engineering, was in data science, reached out and said that they give her a particular activity for her to do, a simple, not necessarily simple, but a bit technical work. And she reached out to say that, oh, Ifemena, this particular thing, please, how can you help? All right. And sure, we went on a call for for about 2 hours. All right, we solved the problem, and she got an immediate, what do you call it, gratification to say that, oh, this person we brought in is doing a great job. So you see, those are the kind of additional benefit that we add to you. TV review, LinkedIn optimization, prop optimization, navigating the job market, recommendation and reference letter, job and interview preparation. We have mentorship sessions, and we have on-the-job support. So the whole thing for us, like I said at the start of the session, is to get you into your first tech job. Data engineering inclusive. So if you're looking to become a data engineer, this is a very inclusive training program to get you started in data engineering. Now, what other jobs can you explore? Because most times when you say, oh, people, I want to become a data engineer, people think only data engineering. People are always thinking just data engineer. You can only work as a data engineer. But there are quite a number of roles you can apply to, going through the training program. You can work as a data engineer. That's the first one. You can work as what we call an ETL developer. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. Extract for E, T for transform, and L for load. You could also work as a cloud engineer, AWS cloud engineer. You could work as a data quality engineer. You could work as an analytics engineer. You could work as a business intelligence developer. You could work as a big data analyst. You could work as a quantitative data engineer. And these are just some of the roles that you can apply for. There are quite a ton of them out there that assume the position of data engineering, okay, but they use a different name. And we have a document that shows you all the roles you can actually apply for going through the training program. These are just some of the roles that you can apply for. Okay. Now, we'll talk about remote opportunity in a second, where you can get remote jobs. Okay. So you can use LinkedIn as one of the best places. Remote.co, Upwork, Indeed, Well-Found. These are places you can apply for remote opportunities. But I'm not even going to use this. I'm going to use other platforms. All right, just to show you that I will show you LinkedIn. I work with LinkedIn. I'm going to work with Glassdoor. I will check out remote.co, Upwork, and Well-Found. But you have a browser. You can always check these things yourself also, and you see that these opportunities exist, especially in data engineering. All right, so you get to work with an internship program. So after your 3-month plus learning program, you get to work on an internship program. So the internship is virtual also, and you can add this internship, and also you can add your training as an experience as a data engineer in the future. So you can always claim work experience with Tenalytics. So you can add Tenalytics to your CV and tell potential recruiters that you can get potential recruitment, you can get experience from Tenalytics. So if you're currently not working, or even if you're working and you're not working as a data engineer, you can claim experience from Tenalytics. And thereafter, you can also request for recommendation or reference, and we'll provide those things for you. So this internship also is 1 month. Okay, it's a 1 month virtual immersive program, internship, where you get to work on an additional 6 projects. All right, you get to work on additional 6 projects where you can on a real life project. So we're going to give you real life situations, and you're going to find your way to work around it. The next thing we're going to be talking about is project review with an expert. So you're going to have an expert in the view, during an internship where you are going to make mistakes, and the expert is going to prefer solutions to the mistakes. So tell you what is attainable in the industry. So it's a very immersive program with the training, with internship, with employability, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the internship program. So I usually like to talk about the global demand for tech talents. So a lot of people feel, oh, I do. Everybody's talking tech. I'm not going to do it because everybody's talking about it. But that's a very big mistake, and that's because if it's organizations that are talking tech, if it's only about tech founders, tech this, tech that, all right, that you might be biased towards it. But if you notice, there has been a upward trend for countries developing pathways, tech talent pathways to attract what? Tech professionals across the world. Canada has what we call the Global Talent Stream Program. So if you're a tech person and you get a job in Canada, which you will see it on their job board, you can actually go there to apply, all right, and you get the job, you can actually get to Canada in 2 weeks. It's the fastest way to get into Canada, all right, even above for your education, PR, and all that. The Global Talent Stream program. The UK also runs their own tech pathway for tech talent, which we call the Global Talent Visa. All right. Germany also has theirs with the Blue Card scheme, also for tech professionals. Singapore has the Tech Pass program. Australia has the Global Talent Visa. France has a French tech visa program, and Ireland has the Critical Skilled Employment Permit program. I was formerly in Ireland, and I'll tell you for free, that's one thing you can always use to secure your position, but if you're relocated to Ireland. So I was in Ireland before I moved to UK, and that's just the way it works. So you see and there's so many nomad positions also. So you see people that are tech professionals. Today they're in Malta, tomorrow they're in Denmark, the next week they're in another Schengen country. There's a lot of, even Canada currently admits they are looking for tech nomads to just come and work, and you moving around virtually and all that. So the world is moving towards the tech, especially guys in the tech ecosystem. So the cool thing is, how do you get started? Where do you get started? We are literally here for you. All right, anytime you're ready to start. Okay, but we want you to start as soon as possible so that you can, hit the ground running and be a part of the team. So I'm the co-founder of Tenalytics. Come and meet some of your facilitators. I'm the one talking to you, the past 2 hours. Another person that you're going to be working with is Timi Oluyinka. All right, she has over 6 years experience, bringing business solutions to organizations and executing the executives through software engineering and data engineering. All right, she has trained over 800 professionals across the world on data engineering and helps them transition. All right, so she's currently the data engineering lead with Tenalytics. She's worked, for different organizations within the space of healthcare, technology, and e-commerce. All right, and she's going to be sharing from a wealth of experience and holding you and guiding you through your journey to becoming a data engineer. We also have Kelvin Oyana, very experienced professional. Currently, has spent the last 6 years helping businesses build optimal cloud infrastructures, performance data pipelines, and analytics solutions to power their analytics and ML. ML is machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence initiative. Obi now based off in Canada, also data engineer, 6+ years of experience in the financial industry. He's a very experienced professional that will also be part of the team that will unload you. Byron, also very experienced professional, 6 years experience working as a data engineer across multiple sectors. He also is a facilitator with Tenalytics. Like I said, these are some of the facilitators that you get to work with. So Byron is very experienced. Is currently also the business and data lead with Toju, which is a fintech platform based off. Okay, Ibrahim is a machine learning engineer. Okay, so he's a medical doctor that also went into data science and also data engineering, and is also going to be part of the facilitators for the program. Daniel, experienced professional, also a data engineer with iTech Integrated Services based off, and he's also a data engineer facilitator with Tenalytics. Our prior experience is data engineer with Omdena in Berlin, and these are all the people that are eating the remote money, all right, from the start. So the next training program is going to be starting on the 7th of October 2023. The 7th of October 2023. The fees is 450,000 naira or 500 pounds if you're in the UK. And you can pay in 2 installments. You can pay in 2 installments. But anyways, like I said, if you wait to the end of the session, I have a special offer for you. Okay, we have a special offer for you. Okay, so we have joined our next course. Okay, so rather than you paying 500 pounds for this, you can actually get it discounted for 400 pounds. Okay, the fees is 400 pounds. 400 pounds. So instead of you paying 500 pounds, you can pay 400 pounds. And instead of you paying 450,000 naira, you could also pay 350,000 naira. Now, the good thing about this is you can pay in 2 installments. You can pay in 2 installments. So for 400 pounds, you can secure a position with 300 pounds while you pay the second payment of 100 pounds. Okay. Now, the second payment comes 1 month into the training program. If you're paying in naira, to secure a position is 250,000 naira. Okay. And the balance of 100,000 naira comes 1 month into the training program. All right. And that's just the way it works. Okay. That is the way it works. So you can pay in 2 installments, and that's the beauty. So all you need to do is click on the link to make payment. So you see all the information in the link. Ebele has provided the link below. So once you click on the link, all right, it's going to take you to this page. All right, the Tenalytics enrollment details. So you'll see all the payment instructions over there. So if you scroll down, if you want to pay in naira, all right, you can see the pay stack for all programs, full and first payments. All right. So you see all the information. If you want to pay in naira, just click here and you can select any of this, select the program. So data engineering, you'll see data engineering over here. So now the good thing about if you want to pay in full payment, it's 350,000. Like I said, we are running a discount, and that's the reason why you are saying 350. So once we get, the target is 20 people. So once we get 20 people registered for this particular program, it reverts back to 450,000 now. So you want to be part of the first set of people to make payments to secure a position for the program starting on the 7th of October. All right. If it's part payment, you want to select part payments, and 250,000 naira will be there. All right. So those are the things you need to know. That's if you're going to be paying in naira. If you're not paying in naira, you'll see it's non-naira card payment. You're going to be paying with your GBP. All right. You have a PayPal over here for you to make. So if you're paying in pounds, there's a PayPal link there. If you're going to be paying pounds, for data engineering, you'll see it there. So PayPal, everything PayPal is in there for Canada, for the guys in the US, so on and so forth. Everything is balanced there. And if you want to do a direct transfer, if you're currently in the UK and you want to make a direct transfer, please send your details to the Wise account provided in here. You see, Tenalytics is the account name, the account number is provided, and all the information is provided. Secondly, if you want to send money to the Nigerian account, so you have Naira that you would like to send, this is exactly the account, Fidelity Bank, and this is the account number. So once you click on the main stack link that Ebele has provided for us, all right, it takes you directly to the payment page, and you can view everything. You can view every single thing. All right. So once you make payments, you'll see upload your initial and full payment here. Upload your initial and full payment here. Once you click on it, it opens up another page, a Google form for you to upload your receipt of payment. So please, like I said, this is only available the discount is only available for the first 20 people to register. Okay. So we have our previous participants on the call that would like to, share their own personal experience. Shayo, I think Shayo, yeah. You can unmute yourself and turn on your video so that people can see you and hear from you. Hello, Shayo, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you, Shayo. How are you doing today? Is it possible
Yeah,
you turn on video so people can get to hear from you?
yeah, sure. I'm doing great. How about you?
Yeah, fine, very good. I'm doing my best.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know if you can see me. It's a bit
a
dark.
bit dark. Okay, I can tell a lot of people in Nigeria saying the network have the lights issue. All right, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, it's been terrible this past week, but
Okay, that's fine. No problem.
yeah. So hi everyone. My name is Oluwaseyi Akinkunmi, but you can call me Shayo, and I was once what do we call it? I was once a participant, right, for the Analytics Data Engineering Training Program. I was part of the first data engineering cohort that started in January this year. And well, I'd like to tell you if you are still having doubts after everything you've seen so far today, I'd like to just tell you to clear your doubts and, basically just enroll for the program, right? You can't go wrong getting skills in data engineering because it's a highly sought after skill, basically. So I will just show you some of the things I worked on. Okay, I think you need to stop sharing your screen so that I
Oh, you
can.
want to share? Okay, you want to share some? I'm gonna stop sharing now so you can go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen now, Shayo.
Okay. Yeah, so like Ifemina mentioned during the presentation, apart from data modeling, building star schemas and all that, another thing you have to be confident with as a data engineer is building pipelines, right? So basically, what's a pipeline? It's basically a sequence of steps that you need to take in order to move your data from source to destination, right? And as you may know, there are different forms of data, structured, unstructured, and all that. And even if you are talking about, we also have semi-structured, right? And this can appear in, JSON, CSV files, or even images and all that. And basically, you need to be able to understand your data source, right? In order to know the kind of code you are going to write to move the data, probably transform it and load it to the destination. Right, so one of the tools that we use for that, for building pipeline, is Airflow, right? And I'm sure many of us must have, heard of Airflow on the call, right? So I will just, so this is also something you get to learn during the program, right? So we're taught, or we're introduced rather to this very nice tool called Astro, right? So Astro basically is it's a short form for Astronomer, right? And Astronomer is the company behind Airflow, so they are the ones that created Airflow and the ecosystem around it and all that. So they basically came up with this tool to help you get started with Airflow on your local machine very easily, right? And this is one of the things we're taught. So in order to use Astro, you need a tool called Docker, right? So Docker is very common among those in software engineering, right? But as a data engineer, it's also a tool that you definitely get to use multiple times, right? So this is, let me just show you. So this is Docker Desktop for Windows. And yeah, basically it's very easy to download. Just search to Google and you can easily download this. So this is the requirement for you to run Astro, right? And I'm not sure what's going on with my Astro. this is taking a bit of time. So okay, in order not to waste time, I just wanted to bring up the Airflow and show you some of the tags that that I built during the program, right? So the DAG is basically a pipeline, right? It represents all the steps you need to take to move your data from one source to a destination. But I'm going to show you my GitHub just to show you some of the projects that we worked on. And that's another really good thing about this program is that you actually get to learn through projects, right? Which is the best way to learn. So it's not just about throwing theory in your face and all that. As you've seen in this session with the Femina, practically based on projects. So I'm looking for this pipeline. Okay, so this is one of the pipeline I built. I think I built this for the Capstone project, right? So yeah, basically for this project, I had to use AWS and Airflow, right? So this is what this is an example of a pipeline, and you can see how it shows the relationship between where the data is being obtained from and the final destination of data. So the data source in this case is an API, basically jobs API, right? So in order to store this data in the destination, which is the data warehouse, I basically have to write a Python code, right, that pulled the data from the API and stored it in a bucket in its very raw form, right? So you can see here, I've indicated JSON, right? So I pulled the data from the API, and when you're dealing with API, your response most of the time comes as JSON, right? So it's just very easy for you to store it as a JSON file. So after saving it in the JSON file, I used an AWS Lambda function to basically transform that JSON to CSV. And in the process of doing that, I had to do some a little bit of cleaning, removing some fields I do not need to have in my data warehouse, right? And the transformed data is saved as a CSV in another bucket. So this is a symbol for S3 bucket. And after that, I have a final Lambda function that took that CSV and loaded it in the data warehouse, right? So a data warehouse basically is, an analytical database, right? It's a bit different from Postgres, MySQL, and all that. Those kinds of databases are usually for transactional purposes, right? So yeah, I have the project set up. I'll share the link to this repo so you can go through. And I actually used Airflow to orchestrate the pipeline. So the same pipeline we have here is represented in Airflow. And of course, with Airflow, you can schedule your pipelines to run maybe 12 a.m. when you are asleep, the whole thing will run. And, it's very easy for you to monitor your pipeline with the UI. And that's actually one of the beautiful things about Airflow. You can have thousands of pipelines running thousands of tasks, and Airflow gives you the capability to set up the infrastructure that can handle, running so many tasks at the same time. So I think that basically then this is the final results when I loaded the data from the API into the data warehouse, right? So this is what the data warehouse is like. So yeah, it's actually called Redshift. That's the data warehouse often on AWS. On GCP, it's BigQuery, the equivalent is BigQuery, right? And these are all the things, these are all things we were taught during the program, AWS, Lambda, Redshift, S3, how to move data and all that, data modeling, so Airflow and all that. I don't know why this is not starting up. I would have really loved to show you, but yeah, that's basically it from me. So I'll share this in the chat in case you want to go through and
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
All right, that's fine, Sharon. Thanks a lot for that. Sometimes they say computers have a mind of their own. In as much as you've practiced as much as possible, you try to show it, the computer just tries to
Yeah,
do the
exactly.
all right. So that's fine. I think it's perfect. It's very good. So the project you worked on is gathering data from an API. You did a bit of transformation. You did transformation and you loaded it, into a data warehouse. Okay, so, which is good. All right. So thanks a lot, Shayo. Thanks for taking out time on a Saturday to share your projects that you worked on in the class. Really appreciate that. All right.
Thanks for
So
having me.
yes, so let's take it on forward. Let's just quickly go through the class one more time and call it a day from there. All right, if you have any question, please feel free to raise up your hand. Like I said, the discount is only available for the first 20 people. All right, so if you would like to register, the program is starting on the 7th of October, 2023. Classes run on Saturdays and on Sunday, only weekends. It's no weekday. So you to always be in your favor. All right. So Saturday and Sunday, Saturday between the time of 11 to 2 p.m. 11 to 2, 11 in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. All right. And on Sunday, between the time of 2 p.m. in the afternoon to 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. So Saturday, 11 to 2, Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. All right. Classes start on the 7th of October. You can register now and you can pay in 2 installments. First payment, £300. Second payment, £100. Second payment comes 1 month into the training program. All right. So these are the account numbers that you could use. So I'll be taking some questions. Alfred, I can see your hand has been raised up, so I'm going to give you permission to ask your questions. So you can unmute yourself. You can go ahead to unmute yourself, Alfred. Alfred Akiri. Okay, Abdulhamid, yes, go ahead, please ask your question. Alfred, can't seem to unmute yourself. Abdulhamid, yes, please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Mr. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Perfectly, yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I said thank you for the presentation, sir. So I want to know at what point do we do, as a data engineer, do you do data cleaning on data sets? And what informs data cleaning on data sets? That's my question. Thank you.
All right. Yes, that's a very, very, very good question. So, like I mentioned, the role of a data engineer, and you would see it from Shayo's presentation, what you did also, the practical aspect. When you're moving data from point A to point B. Okay. In the process of moving it from point A to point B, you will need to explore the data. You need to look at the data, take a look at it. Is it good? Is it clean? In the sense, cleaning data doesn't mean that you're going to get soap and water to wash the data. It basically means that do you have any missing values? Do you have any missing values? Do you have a column that is combining like 3 columns together? So you see there are sometimes that you open the data set and you see like 4 columns with attached to it, first name, last name, middle name, everything will be together. All right. So and if ideally they should be separated, okay, how do you separate it? That's the cleaning that you're performing. So data cleaning basically is done at that point where you are transforming the data. You are moving the data from point A to point B. So the process is called ETL. E, T, and L. ETL. E for extraction, meaning that you're going to extract the data from wherever location you're coming from. T is to transform the data. So after you extract, you need to transform, in the sense, not like you need to, or not that you always transform the data. It's just that if the data is dirty or if you have messy data, you will need to transform the data. That's what the T stands for. So after you extract the data, you transform and you load. Transformation could be missing data, it could be misspelled words, it could be anything really about the data. It could be combined cells, it could be the way the data is structured. So and you need to transform it into a clean and proper structure. And then you load it into a data warehouse. L is for loading. So you extract, you transform, and you load it. All right. So that's the way it works. Okay, that is the way it works. So I think that's, I don't know if that answers your question, Abdulhamid.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the next part of it. So I'm just going to share. I'm just going to show you the Google Classroom. Let me show you the Google Classroom in the next 2-3 minutes, so we can call it a day from there. All right. So I'm going to go down to Google Classroom. All right. So this is the Google Classroom, and you can see this is data engineering, and these are the guys that started in the month of September. So these are the guys that started in the month of September. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I think my screen is divided. Okay. Okay. So hold on, guys. Okay. Yes. All right. So this data engineering class. So like I said, everything is stored in the cloud, in the Google Classroom, and you would have lifetime access to the materials. So let's take a look at the materials. All right. So taking a look at this, okay, you get a welcome kit. So once you register, you receive a welcome kit, welcome you to the training program. Thereafter, you start your first class, introduction to data engineering. And you see all the classes are recorded. You have lifetime access to the materials. This is Byron, is one of the facilitators for the training program, and you'll be working with him, during the training program. All right. So, like I said, these are all experienced people that want to unfold you and guide you through the process of, data engineering. Now, next thing, after introducing you to data engineering, we'll also talk about data types and structures. So we're going into Python now. Okay, data basics. So you have the live class, where this is the live class, the recorded to the live class. And thereafter, you're given, like I said, it's the blended approach to learning. Blended in the sense that you have live classes, but you also have what we call watch me do it videos. So now you've done data structures in class, okay? And maybe you don't understand some certain concepts. We provide you with additional videos, bite-sized videos, meaning that they're not too large, all right, for you to watch and for you to practice, okay? So take, for example, you see this video currently is just 17 minutes, and it basically introduces you to the concept of integer, floats, variables, and so on and so forth. So you see the videos are there, and they're practical, explaining certain concepts in data, in Python to you, all right? Certain videos in Python that will be provided to you. Thereafter, you have a week 1 challenge, okay, like an assignment, a project for you to work on. And you have a drop-in session during the week. You have mentorship session, like I talked about, where we talk about how to apply for a job, where to apply for a job, how to package yourself, personal branding, so on and so forth will be done for you. So you can see everything is in there. CV review, you can see they literally just started the class, and that's one thing that we like to do. We like to start to, well, you're going to be with us for the next 3 months, all right? So we want you to start applying for jobs as early as possible, all right? So you know exactly how to tailor yourself. So it's not just you learning the technical skill, it's also about you learning how to eat the job market and get, a good job for yourself. So you see, this is just the first week, and we are already doing CV review, where we start to teach you how to review your CV, how to adjust your CV, and all that. Okay. Now, Python class 2. This is the second weekend. Okay, and they start with another live class. So now this time around, you have a case study. All right, the material is provided for you, and more or less like you working on an actual data engineering case. All right, where you're going to be using Python to perform certain operations. Okay. So you have all these materials, you get access to materials, case studies, and you get to work on this in the class. You get to work with this in the class. Okay. Thereafter, you see you have Python classes, you have Python classes, you have projects, you have everything. And this weekend we started SQL. All right. And you see they've been doing fantastic job in the class. So these are some of the things you get to, you see, this is what we do it on if, loop, and functions. All right. Introduction to SQL. Okay. And you have all these, posted, for you to practice by yourself, to work on yourself, to try to learn, all right, as much as you can. All right. So you see, some of the videos are easily downloadable. You can download the videos, watch it at your time, so on and so forth. So these are the introduction to SQL, okay? And you have that in the class. You have that in the class for you to walk around, to work with, so on and so forth. So you see, these are the things, these are part of the benefit you get from going through the class. So it's immersive. And if you're going to be joining the session, please drop a 1 in the chat. I can see some people already sending me that they've made payments. So what I would say is, please, once you've made payments, this is a very simple step to take. All right, very simple step to take is click the link Ebele just sent, main stack link that she just sent to the group. Click on that, okay? And you see upload your initial or full receipt here. You need to click on this to upload. All right. And you can upload it yourself. You can try to upload it yourself. And that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Just click here. It's going to take you to a Google Sheet, a Google form, I mean. All right. And you'll be able to register and drop in your information. All right. So that's all you need to do. So that screenshot that you sent to me, all right, please just upload it on the balance, on the on the initial full payment. Click here, upload your payments, and that's all you need to do. All right. So please, guys, this is only limited to the first 20 people. If you're looking to get started on the 7th of October, this is an opportunity for you to get registered. I don't have any question, okay? And I think we are good to go, all right? So if you had a wonderful time today, I want you guys to give me a thumbs up, or unmute yourself and tell me, yeah, if you had a wonderful time today. If you had a wonderful time, if you learned something today, I want you to give me a 1 in the chat, Okay, I can see thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Power. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And please don't forget that you have limited slots available. First 20 people to register gets the discount. So if you want to become a data engineer, the best place to be is with Fenalytics. All right. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend ahead. Cheers, everyone, and bye. Bye for now. Bye.